Our guests this morning are nominated Senator Esther Okenyuri and Peter Salasya, the Member of Parliament for Mumias East. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation. I'll start with you, Honorable Salasya. Karibu sana, you are in the National Assembly, elected under the DAP Kenya ticket, representing the people of Mumias East. You've been all over social media as a sensation, doing very many things, including recruiting. How is that going?
I know it's just all about, I don't know, Kenyans, they like just missionary. Yeah, serious things are not taken so seriously, but simple things are taken so seriously. I think it's quite encouraging also to some extent that you also have to engage Kenyans and take them busy to have something to discuss and talk about.
But you're a serious man.
Very serious. In fact, I'm one of the, I don't know. I don't have, but...
Say it. You're one of the most serious people.
I'm one of the most serious and very organized leader, I think. And in the near future, it will be known.
Very good. We'll hear about that shortly. Esther Mheshimiwa, good morning.
Good morning, Eric.
Newly nominated to the Senate.
Yes.
After the first list had gone through, then you were like, oh man, I missed out. And then you saw Senator Soipan Tuya being nominated to the cabinet, and you knew you were next on the list.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Thank you, Eric. First, I come in to replace Honorable Soipan Tuya, who left for the cabinet. I'm widely known as AC on social platforms, and locally where I come from, they call me Nyaituga. It's a Kisii name meaning shelter.
Right.
So how I landed to the Senate, after the first list had come about, of course, I had done work for the party. I've been very instrumental in our by-election command centers, in the recruitment of members. I founded Women for Ruto that was championing the election of President Ruto. So after that work, I merited to be on that nomination list. So after I didn't make it, I'm a very patient person. So I said, Kenya Kwanza has never been about sharing positions, and I know if the president deems it fit to give me a responsibility, it will come in due course. So people tell me, AC, the God you pray, you need to share that God with us. And I thought, when you work hard and every other thing conspires and opportunity and success meets you, and I think this is what happened to me. Interestingly enough, when Honorable Soipan Tuya was serving in Narok as a woman representative, I was in campus then, serving as a student leader, and she used to support my programs so much. I didn't know that 7 years down the line, she would be exiting a platform and I'll be taking over. So for that, I thank God and the president for the opportunity. We are now at the Senate. I'm a true example of the bottom-up philosophy. And that's why the social media platforms were so much to do with my information, especially from the young people. Because I sit in a very special place of both a woman and a young person. And an ordinary person who people have seen grow from down there.
So you were a student leader, and
Yes.
after leaving university, you, in a very short time, you joined politics. And you started working for the party at the grassroots level.
After I graduated, I worked briefly at Safaricom as a call center agent. 7 months down the line, I resigned, joining politics. Then I wanted to be MCA from where I came from, that's Kisii. I didn't manage.
Which constituency, which ward?
I come from Bomachoge Borabu constituency, Bokimonge ward in Kenyenya. When you look at most of those campaign photos, there's a photo that really trended where the deputy president then was being rained on. That was my village. So I came out here and I was mobilizing young people through the umbrella of Kisii Youth Alliance. In those platforms, the young people would demand that AC should address us. And at one point, the president was attending the final Jubilee rally campaigns. I got a platform to address the people, and I was speaking about issues that were really touching on those people. And from the issues I had mentioned, William Ruto then spotted my capability and told me, AC, I think we can work together. So after I didn't get the nomination, he actually offered me a platform in his office to work as an assistant director research in the strategy and delivery unit. My boss there was Dr. John Chikati, who's now the MP Tongaren constituency. So in that platform, we did a lot of work with TVET. Later, I resigned, contributed to the registration of UDA members. That's why I got to this area now. Why in a short while? It does not mean you have to take a very long way for you to be somewhere. It just depends with how strategic you are, how you align your work, and connecting with the right people, and things will work for you. And of course, hard work.
Sounds like a lot of hard work. People
Yes.
just assume that these things are just simple and easy. Something I'll ask you, Honorable Salasya, before joining Parliament, how did you rise to the position of being elected as a member of Parliament through the party nominations and all?
Okay, maybe first and foremost, let me begin by congratulating my sister for being nominated. It's not easy. And also to congratulate your office, because I've been just doing a research on that office. We have people who have been working with the office of the deputy president. We have Chikati, who's also my friend. We have Kibagendi, who has been also my friend. And you again now. And Kakai Bissau. So you find like all of them by then they landed into, so it's quite amazing and quite encouraging. So for me, I also I began this journey when I joined in Egerton by the way. And I was, for the first time, I think I vied as a director academics and I failed terribly. So the other year I tried and made it to be the vice chairman of the SWIL, that is the student body of Egerton. And so in 2017, when I vied, by the way, I failed terribly. I only managed to get 254 votes. So I took an example that when I tried in my first year in the university, I also failed terribly. So I can try the following year, that is the following election, that is in 2022, and I managed to be there. But before that, it was a very long journey because after failing, I had to start my campaigns because now I didn't have a job and all that. So I had to start moving in funerals because giving even 500 bob, 300 shillings in funeral. So and accepting myself, my situation. So and gaining the popularity, people and all that. So by the time you are getting into, so you see, there was a report that was being given, I don't know by which organization, which was saying that when you're in Kakamega, you must have like around 50 million. So it got me like a surprise. So you are talking about millions, and maybe on my side I don't have even a 1,000 bob or whatever. So then I just say, okay, wacha tu tujikaze, because now that is the situation. So we kept on. So I just say that now I don't want to go into party politics because I'll be knocked out during the nomination. The way my sister was, she didn't manage to get the whatever. So I say that now my popularity is one that will make me get there. So and my mind now was to go as independent candidate because we didn't have money to campaign. Yeah. So in the process, I started attracting parties to come to look for me, like ODM, DAP, KANU, and many others. So, but later on, I decided to stick with Eugene. That is was the patron of the party, and he gave me the party ticket, and I managed to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you run for politics? Why did you run for office?
Sorry?
Why did you run for office? What was the reason behind your decision to run for office?
Okay, the key reason as to why I tried to look at those people who are going for this seat in my constituency. And when I looked at, because you look at the land where we come from, is a land whereby we do a lot of farming in the sugarcane and whatever. So, but you find because of we didn't have the true leaders who could not stand with them, with that person on the ground, they allowed the cartels to collapse the company, which is the Mumias Sugar by then, without bringing in an alternative avenue of an economy. So, but now I had that dream that now if I don't go for this seat, there'll be no any other person who will come and serve these people. So I believed in myself as the only voice available that can change the lives of those people. And I started, this is what really gave me the mileage. I started fighting for the Mumias Sugar by then. And then I did a lot of research about the same and realized that the only way to save Mumias Sugar is for it to go through receivership process. And I started campaigning for it. And many people didn't understand about it. They fought me, they did what? I went through trauma and all that. But later on, it was put under receivership through KCB, as I had told them earlier. And today, as we speak, it is on its feet and it's now doing at least this job creation and all that. So for me now, and again, I've come in the parliament. I'm now in the agriculture committee. So now just checking on the policies and making sure that the agriculture, being a person comes from a leader who comes from an area where they do farming, to make sure that Mumia stand firm or the sugar industry at large stands strong. Yeah.
You know, you come from a community that boasts to have the only known kingdom in this country.
Yeah. True.
The Wanga Mumia.
Yeah, precisely. The royalty. Would I by any chance be talking to royalty?
Yeah. We are the Nabungos. We are the only kingdom. In fact, it's the only kingdom that has the princes and a council of elders. So we are the royal, and then we are trying to bring back that glory right now. Yeah, because now the poverty was changing everything.
Something I want to ask with regards to your being elected. I like your focus when you say that you deemed yourself to be the only person who could actually represent the people. Actually, it's the only way to look at these things, because if you start thinking of other people being equal or better than you, then you won't do what you're doing. What would you say are the plans you have for your constituency? In a nutshell, what do you hope to do, or what do you hope to champion for your people in Parliament now that you are actually the MP?
Okay, first and foremost, there is a bill that was there, and that is what we have tried just to do when I came in, that had been petitioned by Honorable Omnyinyi, and it has gone through all the stages in the Parliament, and it has gone up to the Senate level. But now, you see, there's a procedure. Once maybe the bill has not been tabled in the Parliament, in the Senate, and maybe that period expires, it means that bill has to start afresh.
From ground zero.
From the ground zero. So it's me, Peter Salasya, and Honorable Wangwe and Didmas who petitioned that bill, and we are hoping to come back. And because we're just using the same framework, so very soon it's going to go to the Senate, so that we can, because like right now you find like in fact, even during my first speech in the Parliament, it's called my den speech. Though many people focused on Madam Speaker, sir, but I had a very key point that I spoke about it, and I said about the issue of the AFA things. AFA is the one that has failed agriculture. That is Agricultural Food Authority. Okay. So it means that all cash crops have been cropped together as just food crops. So that's why now every crop wants to stand on its own. We have seen the tea bill, we have seen the coffee, we are now here sugar. So we are now pushing that each cash crop now, as in the agriculture committee, to be on its own. So that is one thing that I've pushed as one of the agenda. But main thing, within a short period of time, what I've done is that I've brought what we call the digital Ajira. I've tried to mobilize the youth across the constituency, come and learn how to do jobs online. So it's something that is going on, and also partnering with the Ministry of ICT. I think after the CDF comes in, we are going to bring an ICT center in my constituency. I've also tried to bring many platforms like Wezo Fund. I've distributed some checks and all that. This Thursday alone, because of the poverty and because of many challenges in the constituency of candidates, from 4 candidates, have not been performing so well. So this Thursday, I'm meeting with all the Form 4 candidates in my constituency, where they'll have lunch with me. I'll give them success. I bring people to speak to them, to encourage them, and also give them buses. At least they will be encouraged to. And then apart from that,
Buses.
yes.
Like buses, vehicles.
Yes. Yeah. So
Per candidate.
not the candidate schools.
Okay.
The schools that will be coming. It's also to serve as one of function.
Okay.
I'll be giving to schools around 5 buses to schools. And also just to check on making our young people to learn entrepreneurial skills. And many other things that I
That
have.
bill that you want to reintroduce to Parliament, what bill is it?
Sorry?
What's the name of that bill?
It's sugar bill.
It's a sugar bill.
Yeah.
So you want to reintroduce it to Parliament?
Yes, so that it can be implemented.
What is it that the bill wants to see achieved?
Okay, the first thing is that you realize that the Sugar Act was scrapped off. So we used to have like Sugar Board, where they used to come together, they formulate policies and all that. And then there's been what we call unhealthy competition in the sugar industry. So in fact, Mumias Sugar could be doing so well, but because of no policies to guide, you find like the sugar industry is not performing so well. So what is there is we want to bring about each miller must have an outgrowers company. And this is an achievement of these outgrowers companies to ensure that they help the farmers to grow cans by maybe giving them the farm inputs and all that. And also, you cannot go and maybe call for shots as an individual in any miller. You must have like a team which can represent the interest. Then you also need to have what you call the zoning of the whatever, so that now because you find like we have a lot of infights in between. Then there's also a challenge about the sugar importation things that need to be fixed on, among many things that are been put into that bill that are able to help the sugar industry to grow.
Do you think in the last Parliament, the 12th Parliament, the sugar bill actually went through the process normally, or do you have a sense that it was frustrated at some point so that it would be time barred?
Yeah, I think it's something that was frustrated, and it's being frustrated by just the cartels. Because now you see, if you find like maybe you are saying that you want to introduce zoning, so you see like some others will feel uncomfortable, so they will just use the people in. That's why you find like this thing is not moving, and they also collaborate and maybe fix some leaders so that they just keep on moving.
Even so what will you do this time to make it move?
What we are doing is that we are just waiting upon the time. It has been already published, so we're waiting in the next 2 weeks' time to be brought in the Parliament. And once it's brought in the Parliament, we take it straight to the Senate, and then now we let the public now charge the Senate so that it can be implemented. Yeah.
What about you? I mean, looking at your bid, Esther,
Yes.
getting into, and then now getting into the Senate by way of nomination, whichever way you want to look at it, was not your first stab at it. Why did you want to get? Because now, as we're looking at the new faces, the new entrants into legislation, into oversight in the country, Kenyans are at a place whereby the hope is that there will be a new injection of activity, of implementation, of saying what was said, maybe not in your case on the campaign trail, will actually be done. Why did you get into this, and what is the hope that some of the things which you may have dreamed you will actually do?
First, I come from a village, a very tiny village, I think, whose coordinates would be very difficult for you guys to locate. So with that in mind, I always wanted to inspire people from where I come from to participate by putting into practice the skills they already have, because most of them either do not go to school because they lack school fees, but there are people who have self-acquired skills that maybe in the TVET system would be graded and maybe certified to do a certain activity. And when I mention TVET, my coming to the Senate fulfills part of my plan. I've worked largely on the TVET sector while we were in the strategy and delivery unit, because when you look at skills and TVET is contributing to the affordable housing that the president is talking about. And through those skills and these skilled people contributing to the affordable housing the president is talking about, we are able to offer employment and contribute to elevation of poverty. And looking at the meetings the president has been holding for the first 50 days, it's really promising. I don't think it would be in order to start judging him now from the 50 days so far. I see the meetings are quite promising, and he's only been in office with his cabinet for like a week. That's our plan as the Kenya Kwanza government. But for me as Esther, I look to pushing two key agendas at the Senate. This is by working closely with senators of like mind. I have keen interest on reproductive health that covers breastfeeding issues, infant mortality, teenage pregnancy. And I was sworn in on Tuesday, so I'm yet to join any committees, but I'm looking forward. I made a contribution on Wednesday to Senator Hamida's motion of having mental centers put in different counties. So I think I'm starting on a good note. And I look up to pushing such issues strongly. The other issue is TVET education. That's hopefully, whether I join the education committee or not, I'll be working with senators in that area, because I have a background in TVET issues that we did largely while at the office of the deputy president. We were not an implementing arm, but we were pushing development partners to support the line ministry to do this, which was in line with Jubilee's agenda of having at least a technical institute in every constituency. So for all these things, I take pride that, as I said, I sit in a very unique place of being a young person and a woman at the same time. So in that space, as a woman, I'm pushing on reproductive health issues. And you can see the statistics are very worrying, especially on young girls who are now pregnant and dropping out of school, and on mothers who are dying out of delivery. We are also, the scenarios we are having, currently we have mothers who deliver and they are celebrating their bundles of joy. We have mothers who also suffer miscarriages. So really they have nothing to go back home with. And they are sharing the same rooms with the mothers who've successfully delivered. That has a huge mental, effect on such kind of mothers. So these are some of the issues we are looking into, pushing relevant legislation to cushion such mothers.
Okay. Let's take a break. It's 27 minutes to 8. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. The Honorable Esther Okenyuri is a nominated senator, and the Honorable Peter Salasya is the MP for Mumias East. They are here with us in Parliament. The first time in Parliament. They're youthful leaders, and what we are asking is what we should expect from this breed of new leaders in our Houses of Parliament.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
This is the Situation Room on SpiceFM, online and on KTN Home. Esther Okenyuri, nominated senator, and Peter Salasya, Mumias East MP, in the studio. City.
Mheshimiwa Esther,
Yes.
the task you set for yourself to try and sort out this complicated issue of maternal child health care, something that even the ministry itself has grappled with. I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Yes.
1, how many health facilities do you have within the ward you come from? Not constituency, ward.
Thank you. I have one health facility in my ward, that's Bokimonge ward.
What level of health facility is it?
It's a district hospital. It's a sub-county hospital. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how large is the maternal arm of this particular facility?
Very squeezed there.
Bed capacity?
And that's why I said that's a challenge we are coming in to highlight. Having women who are, all these women combined in one room, that calls for pushing for more funding down to the counties. In as much as counties should be generating their own revenue, we need political goodwill. And when I look at the current Senate, with the chair of the Health Committee, Honorable Mandago, there has been expressed a lot of goodwill in supporting the health sector in the counties. Yeah.
Do you have or do you know of a working arrangement that the health facility has with, say, traditional birth attendants?
Women in the village have been giving birth locally,
Yes.
which we have not been encouraging, because not all these people are, in as much as they are qualified, but we are now experiencing issues like, those old mamas there might be even sharing the kind of equipment they are using. So even transmitting HIV and other infections. So we've been trying to encourage women to go to hospital, and for these women who have been doing it locally, get certification. That's the home-based healthcare providers. But that doesn't mean like with these people in place, we are sorting out the issue completely. But really, this Kenya Kwanza government has shown a lot of political goodwill in having the health issue work. There's a difference. You see, these are the people other guys have been calling takataka. The takataka guys are the ones who are doing this work and helping the professionals.
You see, traditional birth attendants are experts.
Yes.
Because if you look at the population, say, of your village, you would be amazed at the number of families who have relied on these very same people to deliver people who are probably now grown up and getting on with their lives. Where I'm going to with my question is this. Sometimes waiting for the system of government to kick in, it does kick in, but in its own time. Yet you also mentioned the existence of partners whom you've been working with.
Yes.
I'm certain these partners would know how to help with the certification and also help encourage, because when you have traditional birth attendants who have been certified, what you've done is you've increased your health force, your healthcare personnel. And then there's the issue of the community health workers. Again, these partners, how many partners do you have in your constituency who help with just basic healthcare?
Currently, I wouldn't want to be specific.
Yes, but roughly around about 2.5.
I would not want to quote exact numbers, really. I do not want to go to that direction. But the point I'm driving at, these guys who are doing this are ordinary people. They are hustlers who are thinking, if I do this, I'm able to support myself in a small way. While we're encouraging these people to continue doing what they are doing, you've actually talked about accreditation. TVET Authority under Dr. Kipkirui Langat has been doing that to cover such kind of people. But whereas we're encouraging them to do what they're doing best, we need to embrace the professional bit to avoid the issues I've mentioned.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
In fact, not we do, we must.
We must, really.
Yes.
In as much as we are saying, they're hustlers, they're looking for what to, make something out of it. We respect their profession, whichever way they've been doing it, but we now need to have a way that is acknowledged and supported by the government of Kenya. And like I've said, from what the president has been doing, he's been meeting very key stakeholders, and he's expressed a lot of goodwill in wanting to support both the Senate and the National Assemblies in pushing some of these issues. Like, for instance, let me deviate kidogo, issues to do with reproductive health care. Women are largely affected, and we've seen the president even nominate 10 cabinet level women to be in his cabinet. 7 were full cabinets and 3 were portfolios equal to the level of a cabinet position. When you compare that to the past regimes, during President Uhuru's time we had 6 of them, Kibaki's time we had 4. you would argue, yes, it's not about sharing positions, but having these women on those decision-making tables is a large push in making some of these things happen. And women have been a key, they've been integral in the Kenya Kwanza government and in pushing this health issue I'm talking about, because you can't push for what you do not go through or understand.
You can, but you can't push it as effectively as somebody who has gone through it.
And really, it's like, and that's what I'm talking about. You see, like when I talk about young people and skills, I've been in those areas because I didn't come to Nairobi, where the president, then the deputy president, William Ruto, found me in those vibanda.
In your
huko.
village.
He didn't know me, but through how I'd positioned myself there and the ordinary people there were able to say, yeah, we have someone who's been doing this, and they acknowledged the little contribution I was making. You see, now I'm lucky I had a platform. What about the several hundreds of young people who do not have that platform?
This is true, and I mean, absolutely, it's true. And unfortunately, we are operating in a system where then now, when the opportunity comes, it's lost. When we find people were community activists before they got into government per se, the impacts that they had before that seems to get lost. And what people are looking for today is a guarantee that now that you are in this position of senator, nominated or otherwise, that the things you would have done then would come out to a more elevated level, that the livelihoods of people then would be protected. And I think what folks are looking for today, whether it is you as a nominated senator or you as a member of parliament in Mumias, the question is, how can people be sure, now that you are in this position, that where we've previously seen activism go to government to die, how can they be sure, Kenya Kwanza government in power notwithstanding, that you will actually do what you need to do to represent the people fully? I think that's the question. Whether it's young faces today, it's new faces today, how can Kenyans be sure that this clamor, the push and pull, give younger people the chance, give new faces an opportunity. All right, there's the opportunity. What are you going to do with it? And I think that's the question. You, not the government of the day.
You as Mheshimiwa individually.
Okay, I think that is a very pertinent issue because you realize even we have people like Kina Mtata who has been elected as the senator. You have many, but you see with the a short period of time that I've been in the parliament, I think I've learned where there are loopholes, some things that makes many vibrant people who comes in the parliament and then they keep quiet, they get silent. And one way is that we have the party position thing. Like last we were in Nakuru, in Naivasha. We were having a retreat for the young parliamentarians, and you realize that they're even.
How old do you need to be considered a young parliamentarian?
Less than 35 years.
Okay. Carry on.
So we were there, but we have also some who are more than that, but they were there. They say that we are thinking like young people.
Young at heart.
Young at heart. So we were there, and what we were trying just to discuss as young people is that this issue of the party position is the one that has killed many vibrant people, because you can have a good idea, but just because the instruction have come from up there and saying that this is the position of the party, whether you like it or not, that is the position. So we were trying to say that we know we have come from both Azimio, me from Azimio, others from Kenya Kwanza. Can we put aside, and as young people, can we have one position when we have many challenges are facing this country? Yeah. And then you see, like in the parliament, when you come also, we are so many people. You might have a chance you want to address an issue that is burning, but just because of the stereotype, you are a first timer. they say, you are a first timer. They want even to give today. Even the mistake is there, and you'll find that speaker saying that the first timer, these mistakes should be done by the first timers. So with the first timers, sometimes they're not given. But now we say we will tell the speaker that we don't want to see that kind of stereotype. We want to be given time and also speak. Veterans.
You want your space as well.
Yes, we also want a space, and this one will also give us the platform to address the key issues that are. But again, what I just think we can do, if we'll try that channel of the parliament and fails, then we will stand on our own. And if we can shout it even from outside, if they have the people who are there, the party position and there, we cannot speak on our own. Because if they say if you don't stand on the party position, you will be maybe removed in the committees. You'll be done what? So it's some of the challenges that are facing.
Salasya, are you saying that after the Naivasha retreat, the young parliamentarians decided that they will be speaking with one voice?
Now that is
on issues that are pertinent.
Yeah, and I think because we'll also be having another retreat, I think we were talking about the elections. But now when you go to another retreat, should be the position. I should want to hear them, because now you see, like, even the positions, they say that season work, we want this position, this one. So that is one thing that is affecting this country.
So, for example, have the young parliamentarians taken a position on the PS nominees? Representation of the youth in these PS nominees, the representation of the youth in all the nominees that we've seen so far.
I haven't seen anything, because now you realize that again, one of the biggest challenge is that like when you are being elected in the party, in the committees, you just find the instruction has come from there. Me, I tried to vie as the vice chair of the agriculture committee, but you know what they told me? My fellow youth, they told me I received the instruction from the State House, and I'll go with the guidance of which you have been. So you cannot start with your own fellow youth. So I think as Kenyans, let us say the truth. This thing, but I'll also try to look for friends.
Are you saying the party is not important?
Huh?
That the party should not guide you, should not whip you?
Okay.
You have a whip.
But you see, like the way just our madam has said, you might have a position. Like right now, you have heard about you talked about something to do with the fuel, about the subsidies, the whatever. But now you see, if the boss of Mheshimiwa Senator has said that they will not raise that issue. They will not raise it. And when they go to the parliament, they just wait for the voting. So when we just start shouting. Like recently we are having a conversation about the clerk, right? So there's me guys, we are having a position. But then they have a position, they just keep quiet. They are just waiting for voting.
Is that true, Esther? Is that a fair assessment, really?
My experience, I've been at the Senate for 4 days only, but my experience is quite different. Like when I've made my maiden speech, the speaker of the day really encouraged me and said I'd challenged veterans in the House. So that was, that's one way of supporting these young people who are coming to these platforms to make contributions, which are meaningful to this country. And I think the Senate as a upper house, we have me as Esther, I see a very good platform because the people there are very supportive. And it's not just about being Kenya Kwanza. When you get to the house, you have to strike a working relationship between people of the other side, because now we have a shared ideology of making or improving the lives of Kenyans. Getting to back what Madam here was saying, that activism dies once you get to the house. I don't think it dies. People fail to align what they wanted to push for with the right people. Because they do not, like now at the Senate, like I said, I'm yet to join any committee. But by the time I got in there, I knew who was dealing with the issues I had interest in. And I'm already aligning myself with those people, be it they're in Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. You see, you might have an idea, but you do not know how to craft it to fit into a way that is implementable. Because you're at the house, you're not going to be an activist. You're not in a position of making laws that are going to support what you've been shouting out there. So I think once you align your thoughts that you had out there, you're now in a position of a leader. You should be giving direction. You should be able to put your thoughts together and have something tangible that is going to impact on many people. And clearly, when you look at, for example, when you look at what the Kenya Kwanza government is saying, we want affordable housing. With affordable housing, Kenyans are able to improve their lives. We improve infrastructure, and we reduce the debt burden we are having. Generally, then people can start feeling the effect of this Hustler Nation government they voted for. So for me, as a young person, who's just gotten to that house, I'm very optimistic because I see political goodwill, and I'm a hard worker. Once you're a hard worker and you know how to collaborate with the right people, surely, even with the bureaucracies we still face, you should be able to push your agenda. On the issue of party positions, speaking of Kenya Kwanza, with UDA being one of the largest parties in that coalition, UDA has a plan that's the bottom-up economic model that covers all that we had been advocating for during the campaigns. So a party position in this matter is very important. If we do not have a party position to support the bottom-up model that we've been talking about,
then you'll scatter.
Then we'll scatter.
Here's the thing, though. In the National Assembly, Mheshimiwa Salasya is able to vote. Vote. The decisions in the National Assembly are either by acclamation or by division, where each member can cast a ballot, including nominated members. Not so in the Senate, where in Senate you vote by delegations. The decisions are voted by delegations. The leader of your delegation is not a Kenya Kwanza MP.
And that's why I told you. See, the last time we had a case of Senator Okongo Mogeni. Senator Okongo Mogeni was not voted for to be in the PAC just because he was Azimio. In as much as he's been Azimio, he's been very instrumental in the Senate in supporting us with legal knowledge and so many other things. That's why when it came to his position, even Kenya Kwanza was in support.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying the plan that Kenya Kwanza has been pushing for, any person of sound mind and goodwill sees the essence of supporting this.
So what about in cases where you have a certain position, but the leader of your delegation, the Honorable Onyonka, the senator for Kisii, has a certain different position? Your vote doesn't count.
And you see, even if it doesn't count, I said you work out collaborations with other people. You see, if you say young people who are in the Senate, we are very few young people. Because most of, Senate has always been deemed a house of retirees, and we're intending to change that narrative. Because this time around, you're seeing very vibrant young faces, and we want to change that narrative. And that's why when I got sworn in immediately, the next 2 days I made contributions on the floor of the House.
Okay.
And meaningful contributions.
Waishimiwa.
Yes.
Imagine 1 hour is a very short time. We want you to keep coming back. It's very important that you've joined us today, and we thank you very much for joining us. We'll keep inviting you, especially when you take the motion by the bill back to Parliament, when you have motions that you're pushing. Come and use the platform as well to talk to Kenyans. The Honorable Peter Salasya is member of the National Assembly representing Mumias East, and Esther Okenyuri is a nominated senator in the Senate, nominated by Kenya Kwanza. We thank you very much for joining us. Keep it here for more conversations.